What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Movies podcast. I'm your host, Brian Drolet, and on this episode, we're going to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. I just saw it, and I have to say, it received like a 58 or 59% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score was 96%. I'm with the audience score. I loved this movie. I think the critics got it wrong. One of the biggest criticisms of the movie is that the plot is lacking. Every Mario game ever is saving the princess or saving somebody from Bowser, right? In this movie, Mario actually has to team up with the princess to save Luigi. And, normally the game's one player or two player, you play Luigi. So I thought that was smart to have him and the princess team up to save his brother because you had to get Luigi in there, right? But I don't know what more you want, like, plot-wise. I mean, did Mario have some big transformation? Was there some huge twist in the movie? No, but it gave me everything I want as a Super Mario Brothers fan. Growing up playing the game, this movie was so nostalgic. It had so many references to Nintendo characters or other games like Super Mario Kart. And I just thought it was really clever the way they kind of wove the Super Mario Kart and, even the star power up. And it was kind of funny when he enters the world and he's discovering that eating these mushrooms can make him bigger and stronger. And, it was fun. I don't know what more people want when they complain about a movie like this. I mean, it's a kid's movie. It's a movie for little kids. And if you have children, I promise you they're going to love this movie. Donkey Kong's in the movie. Jack Black is Bowser, and he's hilarious. He does a song, I think, that's gone viral on the internet where he's singing to Peaches, the princess, and, I can't get it out of my head. Just all day running my mind now is just Peaches, 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 Peaches. And it's just funny that they made Bowser sing, and it's just kind of funny seeing this big dinosaur being in love with this woman, and yeah, I don't know. It was a really and I like that it. Some people were like, oh, it's too short. I thought it was perfect, an hour and a half. Like I said, movies are getting a little too long these days. Like we know the good guys are gonna win, right? We're not like wondering who's gonna win the fight between Mario and Bowser. So let's just get to it, But it was a really fun watch, really easy watch, very light. You don't have to think too much. The movie is directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek. Now, another big controversy with this movie was the casting of Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario. I've been very critical of that, and I just kind of found that weird. I'm like, shouldn't they have went with super Italian guy? But the movie actually, and there's going to be a couple spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it yet, you might not want to hear this part, but I don't really think it gives anything major away. But the way they set the movie up is the brothers are from Brooklyn, New York, and they're kind of a part of this bigger Italian family where they're kind of like the butt of the jokes. They get made fun of. And to explain their costumes and their gloves, which I thought was very clever, it was them trying to be clever and they say everybody needs a gimmick because they have a plumbing business and they're trying to stand out. And the movie kind of opens on this, commercial that they made where they're like, it's us, the Mario Brothers. And they kind of have that very thick Italian voice that I think a lot of people were expecting. But I think the creator said it would have been too much to have that be all movie. So it's kind of these voices they do as their plumber persona characters. And people kind of make fun of them and tease them and are like, it's me, Mario. But they don't really talk like that. They sound more normal. And they're like, oh, do you think the accents were too much? And, and then they get made fun of for wearing their white gloves. And, he's like, we got to stand out. We got to, that's why they wear the red and the green. And I thought that was really clever to kind of explain why they look the way they look. And it made them, feel more human and normal. Because you kind of admire, in any good movie, you always want your protagonist to have something that they're working towards, something that they're putting their heart and soul into. So by them, really trying to be business owners and launch this plumbing business and go to the lengths of, wearing elaborate costumes and trying to really make themselves stand out, I admired them as characters. I'm like, oh, they're entrepreneurs. And then another thing I read, like, that somebody was very critical of, they're like, oh, so he just finds a magic pipe and goes down it and into this other world, and that was too loose of a plot point for them. Have you been playing the games? That's what happens. They go in pipes, and the pipes lead to new worlds. I didn't think that was like some crazy stretch. Again, you have talking turtles and, magical worlds and mushrooms that you eat that make you big and strong. Like, is it that much of a leap that there's a magical world in the pipe? Like, I don't think so personally. I'm not getting hung up on that plot point in this movie. And that's why I think critics were just too... the whole movie I kept watching it, I'm like, what did people want? Like, they're on an adventure to save someone from Bowser. That's every game ever. And Toad was hilarious in the movie. I thought Toad was really funny. I also thought Bowser's henchman, the turtle guy, was really funny. And just in general, his interaction with his minions, if you will. There's one scene in the movie where he's like, we're going to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. We're going to invade and be the leaders. And I am going to marry Princess. And everybody's like, what? And they're like, but she doesn't like you. And then he's like, I don't care. And they're like, what if she says no? And he's like, then I will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. And I don't know, it was fun. Like, honestly, I could probably watch the movie again right now and have just as much fun with it as I did when I just saw it. I love in the final battle scene, and again, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but it's really cool and dramatic, the way Bowser's like breathing fire at them, and you think like they get hit by this fire, and really Mario and Luigi at the same time, they get this star and they get star power, and then the music kicks in, and it was so cool. The score and the music was just like in the video game where it's like dun 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 dun. So and then of course they beat Bowser, and it was really cool too because the kind of final battle takes place back on Earth. So like everybody in the neighborhood and all their family that kind of have made fun of them or teased them a little got to see them be heroes. And another cool thing, because like I'm always looking for the emotional through line, right? We always want a commercial hook, that's Super Mario Brothers, and then we want an emotional through line. And at the very beginning of the movie, I think it's Luigi, one of them say to the other, when we're together, we can do anything. You don't have to be afraid as long as we're together. And at the very end of the movie, right when they're, he finally saves his brother and they're teaming up to defeat Bowser, I'm trying to remember, I want to say Luigi blocks Bowser's fire from Mario, like with some sort of shield or something, and he looks back at Mario and there's like fire all around him. He's like, you don't have to be afraid as long as we're together. And I like literally got chills. I was like, reminding me of my relationship with my sister, I was like, oh, okay, this movie's, like I said, I really enjoyed it. And, sometimes, I always talk about this with movies. Sometimes when you have really, really high expectations for a movie, you're almost always disappointed because you're like, you have such high hopes. It's like what I always say with the movie Man of Steel. When I first saw it, I hated it. I was so upset. For whatever reason, I didn't get what I wanted. But I watched that movie more and more over time. And I'm like, oh, I kind of really like the Man of Steel. So when you go into a movie with low expectations, because I was like, okay, critics are giving this, a 50-something %, I was like scared that it might not be good, but it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it's just fun. The characters are, the whole world, all the characters are adorable, and, as a man, and, I like to think of myself as an alpha male, and I hate using this adjective, but I'm going to do it, okay? It's 2023. The movie is very cute. It's just a cute movie. All right? And yeah, and when they go to the castle in the games and they have like the skeleton turtles, that's in the movie as well, which was like really fun. And there was no Yoshi, which I was surprised that there was no Yoshi. Maybe they're saving Yoshi for the sequel, because if they put there was no Kirby either, it would have been nice to see Kirby. But I think Nintendo, you definitely have to make a sequel. I would love to see more Nintendo characters in the world. Maybe Metroid. I'm trying to think of other, Zelda, Link. I mean, now we need more. We want more. So, really good movie. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you guys other than I think it sets it up really well. It makes the Mario and Luigi very likable. And I really liked Princess's character too. They kind of give her backstory, how she ended up in that world. And I thought her and Mario's relationship was really, really nice. Like, this movie, I definitely recommend it. I'm going to give it 4 stars, 4 out of 4. I mean, there was nothing, I really don't have a criticism of it other than I just don't agree with critics. I mean, could you have had a more in-depth plot? I don't know, maybe, but it didn't bother me. So, go see Super Mario Brothers, written by Matthew Fogel, in theaters now. And visually, it's a gorgeous movie. The animation is top-notch. It was produced by Illumination Entertainment, Universal Pictures, and Nintendo. And apparently, Nintendo was all over this. They, consulted with the writers and were all over the story and how they wanted their world of Nintendo depicted. And that was the other thing. I thought the world was really cool, the way they built it. There's even one part in the movie where Mario and Princess are looking at the stars, and he says to her, maybe you're from my planet, because in the movie she reveals that, one day she came through the pipe, she was like a baby, and she doesn't know how she got here, and the Toads raised her as their own, and when she was old enough, made her princess. And, so Mario says to her, maybe you're from my world. And then she looks up at the sky, and she's like, there's thousands and thousands and countless galaxies and universes, so who knows where I'm from. And I don't know, it was just very relatable. Like, we have millions of galaxies and stars out there, so who knows what's out there. Maybe there's a Mushroom Kingdom, but I don't know. It was just sweet. It was a sweet moment when here I am, a grown man. I'm like, oh, Mario and Princess, they're really getting along. Maybe they'll kiss. But yeah, the movie was just sweet, and it's doing amazing at the box office. It's made a ton of money, so the odds are likely we are going to get another Super Mario Brothers movie in the near future. Hopefully. Okay, guys, let me know in the comments if you saw Super Mario Brothers movie. Let me know what you think about it. And we'll be back next week for more Let's Talk Movies. I'm your host. It's-a me, Brian. Thanks for watching.